Hi, I'm Dr. Julie Steinauer with Vision for Life and Success. Today I want to talk to you about 3 unusual things that could potentially happen to you while you're doing Syntonics that you never even would consider. But first, let's talk to you about how you can connect with us. If you're local, give us a call at 618-288-1489. If you're not local, go to our website at visionforlifeworks.com and you have 2 choices. You can either fill out some questions for a quiz, or you can schedule a consultation directly with me. Now, let's go back and talk about these 3 unusual things that you may never think could possibly happen whenever you're doing Syntonics. Number 1, some of our patients describe that whenever they're wearing their filters, they get a tingling sensation in their scalp or all over their head, or maybe on one side. Is particularly something that our patients who are amblyopic will notice. In amblyopia, where one eye doesn't see quite as clear, maybe it's the left eye, the brain on the right side or the right hemisphere will be controlling the information to that left eye. So while doing Syntonics, if a person has a left eye amblyopia or a left eye strabismus or eye turn, they may notice a tingling sensation on the right side of their head. So it's kind of unique. Number 2, so the second thing that could happen while you're doing Syntonics that you might never even suspect or expect to happen, is that most of our patients don't come to us being ambidextrous or being able to use both hands equally. But there's a test that we do for patients who come into the clinic, and it requires them to look into this little machine. While they're looking in there, they have a pencil in each hand, and it kind of creates a bit of an optical illusion, so that if they're using both eyes at the same time together accurately, when they take their pencil tips and they draw to make it look like these little things are these pencil tips are touching together, what will happen is that in the beginning, if they are right-handed and they do the test, the right side of their drawing will be really dark and distinct. But the left side, because maybe they're not left-handed, will be really light. Well, as you go through the process of wearing the glasses or the filters during Syntonics, it's interesting that the brain is sending proper signaling to both eyes that goes through the whole body. So you get it in both hands too. So what can happen is the person can end up looking a little bit more like they've gained and they're now suddenly are ambidextrous. And so if we repeat that test where they put their head down into the machine and they draw those lines together, what it can end up looking like is now suddenly their left hand is as strong as the right hand. Some of our patients will even report that they begin throwing the ball with their left hand, or that they do other certain activities with their left hand and they feel just as strong with their left as they do with their dominant right. So that's a really cool thing that happens for some. And then the third and final thing that you might find unique that could potentially happen to you while you're undergoing Syntonics is that hearing can improve. Now, this is something that's super interesting. Obviously, with Syntonics, our goal as a vision clinic is to work on your vision, but it's really turning on the entire brain for processing. So there's 2 ways in which this kind of will turn on the process of better hearing for yourself or maybe your kids who are in therapy. And the way that it works, first way, is that the whole brain is being stimulated. So while we're stimulating the visual senses, other senses are being heightened too, such as hearing or auditory senses. So another way that auditory skills can improve is that overall, Syntonics is working on a lot of things. But one of the things it's working on for individuals is to broaden the area of what's called a functional visual field, or the amount of information that your brain and eyes can process at a given time. So you might feel like you come in with tunnel vision, but after working through Syntonics, your functional visual field has broadened. I like to tell parents when that field broadens, if it was really narrow for kids to begin with, then what you'll notice is when it's really narrow and they're watching TV and they're zoned in and honed in on the TV, sometimes it's like a train could go through the house, and no matter what, they would not stop and pay attention or answer you or respond to what you said if you holler from the other room to them. But as that functional visual field widens and gets larger and larger and larger, I tell mom and dad, it's like now we've opened up and we actually incorporated the ears. When we're doing just this, the ears are out of it, so they don't hear as well. Now, that's kind of a silly way of thinking about it, but really, there's some truth to that. Have you ever heard someone say without their glasses, they can't process or they can't hear correctly? And what that really means is that vision is one of the ways in which we deal with our environment. And actually, it's about 80% of the way that we deal with our visual environment. And that's done through the visual system. What that means is that in a given moment, whatever you're doing, your brain is processing a lot of information, but 80% of what it's processing is visual. So if your visual system is off and it's not functioning as accurately as it could be, then it can actually affect some other things, such as your hearing ability. So when we turn the visual system on, so to speak, we can also turn the hearing on at the same time. Now, those are three cool things and interesting things that you may never have expected would change when you're doing Syntonics. If you think that this video is interesting, obviously we'd love for you to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the videos that we produce. Also, if you have been watching us for a while and you feel that you could benefit, your child could benefit, or someone that you know could benefit from our services, please pass this video on to them. Thank you.